freedom of thinking.
Definitely there's a freedom of thinking, but also just a freedom of being.
At the campus of the French Fashion Institute, on the sidelines of the shows for winter 2024, the stakes are high. These students are poised to compete with fellow graduates from the prestigious Central St Martin's in London, whose alumni include the likes of John Galliano, Stella McCartney and Kim Jones. This show then aims to be a showcase of the French-bred talent of the future.
Well, a lot of my collection comes from my upbringing in the Philippines, wherein I basically grew up as a queer child. And when you're growing up as a queer child in the Philippines, it's not really something that's accepted. It's more tolerated. There are still people that are being persecuted for it, and very publicly so. So what we want to do here is just to celebrate queer excellence within the way of how we make clothes as well, which is why I dealt a lot with haute couture, which is an obsession of mine, and just making really good clothes, really fun clothes especially, and being able to challenge, ideally, the norms that come along with being queer.
Sitting in the front row, Brigitte Macron, the CEOs of luxury groups LVMH and Chanel, a deputy economy minister and the minister for culture. So is fashion really half culture, half capitalism?
Yes, and what of it?
Is the ratio always 50-50?
No, it's 100%. 100% economy, 100% culture.
Such a lot of persons.
Yes, it's 100%, because fashion is extremely important for France, for its global influence, its economy, but also its creativity. This is a place for creativity. It shows off the best of what this country can do. It's also a place where people can show off their talent and express their passion.
So beyond the classroom, who are today's most exciting new designers? For his latest collection, entitled Echo, Vincent Pressiat plunges us into a world of snow and old tyres, accompanied by a violinist and a hellish soundscape.
It's about creating an echo of everything that pertains to hope, to the future. For this, we actually worked with a creative collective, and that work extends to the sound, the PR, the event planning, the artistic direction. We wanted to collectively create an echo of hope, leaving behind the individual and taking things all together more slowly. And that's why our set is filled with tires and snow, like time has stopped. There you go, that's the idea.
At Victor Weinsanto, meanwhile, it's all about a burlesque revival, a rather mournful interpretation of the cabaret aesthetic.
There's no one story here. It's more that I wanted to pay tribute to all the women around me. And that's why I called it Lady Weinsanto. It's actually also my dog's name, a dog I adopted. I really wanted to speak about all the wonderful people around me, the people I love. And it's true that we've been going through a really difficult time in the world recently. There's a lot of horrifying things that are happening. I wasn't necessarily in the most celebratory mood, and I wanted that to be reflected in the collection. I wanted to create a collection that was almost sad, really, but with a touch of hope right at the end. I wanted something that almost resembled a period of mourning, with women wearing lace veils that just give you a glimpse of the face, veils that almost resemble burlesque lingerie. Like usual, I was most interested in developing characters. One that's a bit more cabaret, one that's a bit more taciturn, and a bit more boyish, one that's got a typically Asian hairstyle. There are a lot of characters, so the thing that ties them together lies more in the emotional side of things. But yes, like usual, it goes off in a lot of different directions.
It feels like the expression of something pretty, elegant, grandiose, even, but also rather sober. I do think there's a grandness to it, but it's not exactly exuberance. But I do also like exuberance. In any case, fashion is always extremely personal, and you make of something what you will. And if you feel good in the thing you're wearing, that's fashion. That's it. You just need to feel good in what you wear.
This is Alain Paul's second collection. The former professional ballet dancer finds inspiration in traditional ballet costumes. He's a firm believer in leaning into sensuality while finding joy in discipline.
There's a side to it that's really about discipline, rigor, which is how I am myself, and which you can also see in the collection with the tailored jackets and the coats where I'm always seeking perfection. And then there's the other side, which is a little freer, with looks in jersey that almost look like they're still under construction, and which represent the freedom of a dancer during rehearsals, as opposed to the dancer on stage, where there's no place for error. I attached a lot of importance on perfection, but at the same time, I'm trying not to undermine the essence of something that may be imperfect, because sometimes a thing that's too perfect touches us less.
A perfect illustration of how simple fabric, transformed into fully realized silhouettes, has the power to clothe a body and free the mind.